Hi there, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning into the channel. I really appreciate it. I'm your host, Steven, and today marks the 50th anniversary of Kiss's self-titled debut, released February 18th, 1974. An underrated album, in my opinion, overlooked for many years. A lot of the songs have become staples. These songs would only probably really get recognized in the late 1975, a year later, with their Alive album, where you kind of saw the power of Kiss live, where they take these songs and give it the much needed kick that some of these songs needed. But all in all, this is still a solid album. There's a bit of the New York Dolls, Stones, Zeppelin, Sabbath, tinges of that all over the place. It was the 70s, but you have to realize this is their first album. They're new behind the mic. They don't know what they're doing. They're just, watching what the big wigs say and how to make an album. But the choruses are there, the riffs are there, everything is there to make a solid album nonetheless. So we'll start off. I put some notes here, so if I go look back and forth, please forgive me. The album starts off with Strutter, a great album opener, upbeat, powerful. Paul Stanley has a very seductive voice, makes this song gives it that seduction, that sexiness that the song actually needs. I like the part where it goes, everybody says she's looking good, and the lady knows it's understood. Strutter, he's got that sexual energy to the song, and it needed to make this song work. Next up, we have Nothing to Lose, which introduces us to Gene Simmons. He's got a more aggressive vocal than Paul does for sure, and it really works for this song. Although it's slightly poppy, it's still got enough edge to it. What else do we have? Next, we have Firehouse, which is a very guitar oriented. This album, Paul's songs are much more guitar oriented. He becomes more the melodic guy as Kiss goes on, especially during the 80s. He's got the catchy choruses, the bouncy songs, the poppy song. But here, you'll see, like Firehouse is a guitar driven song. Really great song, love it. Number 4, we've got Cold Gin, which brings us back to Gene Simmons. Again, his aggressive vocals do this well. The song was originally written by Ace Frehley. Ace wouldn't sing this song. He wasn't really ready to be a singer yet. He'd get on later on, and the rest is history. People love Ace, and rightly so. He's a good singer. Lead singer, that's a whole other story. We'll get to that some other time. Let Me Know is a nice little pop song. A lot of people say it's a Strutter copycat. I can see that, but I love it, especially the ending, the instrumentation at the end. Really cool. Rediscovered this track. I like it. I'm putting it today. I put it on my Kiss playlist. I added it on. Loving it. Kissing Time. Let's go to that. Is a Bob Rydell cover. Doesn't really fit the Kiss thing for me. I understand they put it on because originally the album wasn't selling. They needed a hit really badly, and they figured this song was a hit before, give him a hit again, right? So really didn't work for them. Next up, we have probably the song that Gene Simmons is known for and will always be known for, Deuce. But the best part of this, I love Paul Stanley sings along, backup vocals, and he'll stop crying all your tears. Best vocal delivery on the album by Paul Stanley on that backup. Phenomenal. That elevates this song to a whole different level. Love Theme from Kiss is an instrumental, and the one song that's actually credited to all 4 members of the band. Pretty cool. I like that. 100,000 Years is another aggressive rock song from Paul Stanley. Sorry to keep you waiting so long. Must have been a bitch when I was gone. Really rough sounding. For Paul Stanley, like I said, who's going to be the melodic, the hit maker, the catchy chorus guy? This is really hard for him. Like he doesn't go this hard until like Lick It Up. No, Creatures of the Night maybe, like he gets more melodic most of the time. But this is a hard rocking song. Great intro by Gene Simmons bass playing. If you think Gene Simmons can't play bass, listen to that intro. Black Diamond, great way to end this album. A little bit of Black Sabbath at the end of boom, boom. You'll hear, you know what I mean. I can't do this. I can't do the sounds properly. I can't do it justice. Opens up with Paul Stanley and acoustic guitar. You think it might be a ballad the first time you hear it, but then it goes into this hardcore rocker with Peter Criss really showcasing his vocal ability on here. Most people would know him from Beth, but he could rock out with the best of them, and this is a prime example. Black Diamond is probably one of his strongest. That and Baby Driver, but that's a whole other album. But Black Diamond, a great way to end the album. Love this song. Unfortunately, Peter Criss, as great as he is, they never really gave him too many songs on every album. Usually had one, maybe two tops. And it's too bad. He's a good singer. When you have a band that has three here, going to be four later on, you should showcase them a little more and give it a little bit more balance. But it from the beginning, it's the Paul and Gene show, and it started off here. One of the most criminally underrated debut albums. Yes, it doesn't have the kick of the live versions, but you know what? A good album is a good album is a good album. It has that raw energy that you can hear. They're hungry. They're hungry and they want to make it big. It lacks the punch of a live for sure, but again, it's got the riffs, it's got the choruses, and that's a great song. That's a great rock song, in my opinion. So you know what? 50 years ago today, this started what would become, you wanted the best, you got the best, the hottest band in the world, Kiss. This has started it all, and a lot of these songs remained in their sets for years. Strutter, 100,000 Years, Deuce, Firehouse. They played 50 years on. These songs made it on somewhere on a live album. You name it, greatest hits package. It's there, and for good reason. They're great. They're well written, well constructed songs. Say what you will about Kiss, that it's all about the merchandise. When they wanted to create something good and they put their minds to it, they did a pretty darn good job. And this debut album is criminally underrated in my opinion. And it only got its just due once Alive came up. You said, oh, where does Strutter come from? Where does Deuce come from? Where does 100,000 Years come? And they go back here. And again, yes, I know it lacks the punch a little bit. But this is where it all originated. And it deserves its just due. So I salute the debut album 50 years ago today. I was a little too young to buy it originally. Backtracked when I picked up my first Kiss album, which was Lick It Up in 1983. But you know what? I still like this album. And like I said, I rediscovered a track, Let Me Know. And I love this song. And I've added on to my Kiss playlist. And I think you should too. I think you should give it a listen to. If you haven't listened to this in a while, it deserves a spin. So, listen to it on your streaming services, or if you like me and have the physical product, give it a spin. I think you'd be pleasantly surprised how well it has held up after 50 years. So this is Steven with my initial take on Kiss's self-titled debut. If you find any value in this, please pass this along to your friends and family who love Kiss. Keep the rock and roll alive. Keep Kiss alive. I know it's the end of the road for them, but we got to keep them going, right? See you soon, guys.